All right. Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching Georgia Beer Reviews, back at you today with a special live examination of brown ales. And joining me this fine afternoon is Ronald Theriot of Louisiana Beer Reviews. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for inviting me. I didn't know anything about this until a few hours ago, but it was kind of spur of the moment.
Yeah, I like to do a lot of impromptu review, examinations. So anyway, I'm going to read a quick description of what a brown ale is, just for any viewers out there who might not know exactly what we're talking about. And I'm reading out of the Beer Bible here. So,
all right.
Quick description: a quality of malt comfort. Much can be done with darker grain to create layered flavor, and browns express them with notes of toast, caramel, raisins, walnut, chocolate, or bread crust. Hops usually ride along as tour guides, helping direct the drinker to these malty depths. Depending on the type of brown, it might go perfectly with a chocolatey dessert or a spicy Mexican dish. So you get dark roasted barley malt, a lot of toasty, roasty qualities, but we're not talking about a stout here, not to the level of a stout. So kind of a nice in-between style, and I really enjoy brown ale. So I'll let you lead off with what do you have today, Ron?
Well, I have a Beta Christmas Ale, which is described on the Beta website. It's described as a brown ale. So there's Santa Claus being pulled by alligators.
Nice.
Over New Orleans, but it's kind of funny because Abita Springs is really not too close to New Orleans, but I guess New Orleans is famous and Abita Springs isn't. It comes in a short neck brown bottle like Abita's always had for the last 32 years that they've, since they've been in operation, 32 years. Every now and then they'll change the label. For a long time, they had a silver label with red writing and made it look like a gift wrap. Christmas wrap, and then they went to this, which is trying to play off of a picture book called The Cajun Night Before Christmas.
Okay.
Which is the night before Christmas, but in a Cajun theme. And then I poured it and I did a solo review, but I didn't take but a few sips. So I said, well, that's perfect. I just started. And you can see all the heavy lacing.
Very nice. Yeah. What's the ABV on that beer?
See how thick the head was. It was ivory. I'll tell you. And look, it's kind of a light brown. Clear, mostly, not too much sediment. Okay, kind of like a tea color or something. I wrote it down here. I think it's 40 IBUs. Let's see. Yeah, 40 IBUs and 5.8% alcohol. Now, some years it'll be 6%, so it'll vary. Every year they change the recipe. They copied the idea from Anchor, Steam, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, our special ale, where they change it every year, probably just slightly alter it every year since 1975. I haven't seen the Anchor Merry Christmas, Happy New Year this year, though. I don't see too many Anchor beers anymore, and I always bought that one every year. So I would be disappointed if I couldn't get it this year. Want me to give you a quick rundown of the aroma and taste?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I won't go long. That was our controversy last week, people going too long and all of that. So we've been exploring the video hangout controversy, as they say in England, controversy. Yeah, it's spice. It's really on the nose. You get brown bread crust and then spiced holiday bread. And then the flavor follows the nose. It's the brown bread crust, the spiced holiday bread, and a pretty good amount of bitterness, but I say it's mild. Now, I was reading all the written reviews on Beer Advocate, and some people were complaining. They said it's too bitter. It's just an IPA disguised as a brown ale. Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't find that. Maybe it's a little bitter, more bitter than other brown ales. Maybe the bitter is coming from those spices, because some spices can be kind of bitter. And it tastes like it might even have a little orange peel or something in it. Like there's some kind of citrus aspect to it. I couldn't put my finger on it. Just like the previous beer I reviewed, the Sierra Nevada Winter Warmer Lager. And it's a crisp, easygoing, mostly dry finish. And if you like Old Fezziwig, if you like St. Lance Winter Lager, if you like the Sierra Nevada's new Winter Warmer 2018 Lager, then you'll probably like this. And another good one to get, although I don't know if I'm going to get it this year, is the St. Arnold Christmas Ale, which I saw.
Yeah.
But this one was $8.99 a six-pack. Okay, so $8.99. I used to like it better when it was $6.99 a six-pack, you know. But those days are gone, those $6.99 craft beer six-packs. But this day and age, I guess $8.99 is not so bad.
No, not a bad price for a crafty Christmas beer.
No.
So I've got the brown ale that I've got today is from Monday Night Brewing out of Atlanta, Georgia. This is from their Garage series, Ante Meridiem, which I believe it's Latin, but it means before noon, which I don't think you want to be drinking a 13.5% bourbon barrel imperial brown ale before noon. Otherwise, you might have some productivity issues for the rest of the day. But
go picture all day. Yeah. Ante is before. Yeah, that's right. Meridian, the middle.
So anyway, like I said, this is it's 13.5%, and it's aged in bourbon barrels with Ugandan vanilla beans, locally roasted Batdorf and Bronson coffee, and maple syrup. So
I bet that's not at the price point per ounce as what I'm drinking.
No, I was pretty happy with the price. I mean, it was $12 for this bottle, which for 13.5% aged in bourbon barrels, I think that's a pretty good deal. The CBS that I had a few days ago was $23 a bottle, so I'll take this any day over that price. So very dark brown appearance. The head is beige, very creamy looking, and I can already smell the like maple and the bourbon notes. It's a very pungent aroma in a good way. This fits the description of the brown ale perfectly. Malt forward, a lot of malt and toasty notes on the aroma. I'm picking a little. I'm noticing a little bit of coffee as well, although it doesn't say anything about coffee being added. Probably just coming from those really darkly roasted grains. But anyway, cheers.
Cheers to you. What's the ABV again?
13.5.
Golly, and you said the price was about $14?
It was, yeah. Oh, and actually, I just read it, so I don't know why. It is brewed, or it does have coffee, Batdorf and Bronson coffee. So I'm definitely picking up on the coffee. On the palates, very coffee forward. You're getting maple syrup. You're getting the bourbon qualities, like maybe a little oak. Very bready in the middle of the sip, as you would expect with a brown ale.
Yeah.
Yours is a little bit different. If you just for the actual style, brown ales are typically not super hoppy, so yours is kind of like a different take on a brown ale. I think you said 40 IBUs for yours. That's pretty high for a brown ale.
Yeah, and that's what. And when I was reading the written reviews on Beer Advocate, there were some complaints. People were saying it's too IPA-like. Trying to get an echo here.
Okay.
Well, I have my volume up. I don't have my volume loud.
That's all right. I'll mute myself for a minute if it keeps up. But
so yeah, I don't know how you'd feel about this brown ale, but in a minute I'll give you my score whenever you're ready. And I know you're still describing your beer.
Yeah, I'm almost done here. So very malt forward, like I said, you're picking up the coffee, you're picking up the maple syrup, you're getting some nice wood notes from the bourbon barrels. It's very enjoyable. It's almost syrupy. It's pretty heavy bodied, but the flavors are on point. the alcohol, 13.5%. You're really not picking up on that at all. As it is warming going down, though, you know you're drinking a high alcohol beer. But I mean, this is excellent. I'll go ahead and give a quick rating, I guess, and then I'll let you go. I'm going to go with a 94 out of 100. It's excellent. It's a pretty solid A. It's a little high ABV and body for a brown ale. Like if you're used to drinking Newcastle and you drink something like this, it's probably going to throw you off. But the flavors are on point, and it is a delicious beer. So I think it is excellent for that reason. So I'm going to go with a 94.
Imperial brown ale.
Right, right.
I saw that glass. I started to laugh a little bit because I said, that's a lot of booze in that glass. I would give mine a 93. I'm tempted to go to 94, but I'm going to be conservative and say 93. Some years I've given it B plus, B minus. I mean, never B minus, B plus, A minus. Jean-Pierre did his review. I watched it this morning. He gave it an A 90. So he said 9.0 for the Abita Christmas, 9.0. I'm saying 9.3 for a hoppy brown ale. Let's call it that, a hoppy brown spiced, a spiced hoppy brown ale. That sounds like a good description, right?
Yeah, that pretty much describes it perfectly. Because and what is added in there? Does it say on the label the spices they use?
They don't say on the website. They talk about the hops and the malts. Abita always gives a good rundown of the hops, the malts, the color rating, you know, that color scale, the hop scale. I'm sorry, the bitterness scale. They give for every beer they make that description. Same Lance used to do that. All right. I have a feeling you would like it. And
I've never been able to try the Abita Christmas beer because it's not. I've never seen it. We do get some Abita stuff here, but we're very limited. You obviously live much closer to the brewery, and I'm sure you get a lot of the seasonal stuff that a lot of other states just don't get. That being one of them.
Yeah, and they made 2 Christmas beers. They made the Abita Christmas Ale, and then there was another one called I can't remember the name of it. I don't remember, but it's a holiday ale, and it's on the market right now. It's like candy cane or something like that, but it's interesting.
And you don't get any of the Monday night beers in your area, do you? Monday Night Brewing?
I never even heard of it.
Okay.
I've heard of Monday Night Football, but I never heard of Monday Night Brewing.
They're very popular here, and they distribute, I believe right now they distribute to about 5 states. But unless you live close to the brewery, you're not going to see any of the, Garage Series or any of their barrel aged stuff. I think that's pretty limited. But they do have, their standard line of beers like the Drafty Kilt Scotch Ale. That's probably their namesake beer. That's the one that kind of started it all with the popularity of the brewery. That one you can find pretty much anywhere in the state of Georgia. I think Alabama as well. But I guess they haven't made their way down to Louisiana yet. But Abita is a much larger brewery too. They've been around a lot longer than Monday Brewing.
Yeah. So. I just found out. I looked on my list of my notes, and the one I did, the other holiday beer for 2018, is called Office Party. Abita Office Party. Now, when Tanya came down here, Tanya Mikowski. And by the way, she said, I miss you guys. She didn't get to do the hangout with us the other day. But she was excited because she was in New Orleans and hadn't really got to come here before. And so she was excited about the brewery, and she had a great time. And then we did all their standard beers. And then they had another one called the Abita Old Fashioned Pale Ale, which was a pale ale that tried to mimic an old-fashioned highball mixed drink. And she said, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. And I said, it's kind of expensive, don't you think? Oh, no, I don't care. I'm buying it. So she loved it. And it really was good. So I guess she figured, I'm only in Louisiana once, maybe my whole life. I'm going to splurge a little bit.
Right. I remember watching the video that you guys did where y'all were drinking those beers at the brewery.
Yeah, we were at the brewery and we drank a number of beers. And before that, we had tried the Pabst American Pale Ale, which she didn't like. I did like it, although I found that it's more of an English Pale Ale. But it doesn't really matter because I don't think they even make it anymore. If you find a can, it's probably going to be old. But then we did all those Avita beers. And then we could just kind of say, let's cool it. And so we drank water the rest of the day. You know, because we went to 2 national wildlife refuges and walked on trails and all, and figured it would be best to kind of shut that part of the adventure down, which worked out fine.
I had an old fashioned beer. It's a pretty popular, you know, Alltech Brewery. They make, you know, the Kentucky Barrel Series. It's Kentucky bourbon barrel aged old fashioned. I think that's the name of it, but it has those flavors in there. And the Kentucky beers, they're all around 10, 11%. I think it was 10.5% ABV. It was really well done. And I'm not a big cocktail, you know, mixed drink type guy, but they were spot on with the flavors in that beer.
Talking about mixed drinks and cocktails and liquor, you might have seen my I would like to try that Alltech. I don't think they've ever sold their beers down here, though. I bought them on a road trip when I was in Tennessee once, in Knoxville, Tennessee. I stopped at this liquor store, and they had the Alltech Bourbon Barrel. One of them, I can't remember. There's so many. I bought one, and it was pretty good. But talking about liquor, you might have seen my early morning fiasco taste challenge.
You know I did, yeah.
I was embarrassed because I don't know, I was careless, and I had to put the labels in the wrong. I poured it in the wrong glasses because there's no doubt that the Piper Dean is so inferior to the King Robert II. So when you saw that, I looked at it and I said, oh no. But I knew right off the bat I messed up because when I repoured them, and anyway, who in the world is going to cheat on something like that?
Right. And you know, when you do hundreds of these taste challenges, these Dawn Busters over, you know, years and years, you're bound to mess up every once in a while. That's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah. And another thing is 5:30 in the morning or 6, and you think, oh, I'm fully awake, but you might not be fully awake as you think you are. You just think you are, you know. And so, but it caught me off guard. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention that I said, oh man, but you're tempted to delete it and just call it a you know, just scrap it. But I said, nah, I'm going to leave it, because when you do these live things, you better just not worry about so-called quality control. You just do it. And if people don't like it, that's too bad. I mean,
right. It's YouTube. You don't have to watch it. It's not like required reading in school or something.
Yeah, but a lot of comments from people, they seem to have the understanding that they're under an obligation to watch the videos.
Yeah, well.
But they're really not.
So, in wrapping up this brown ale discussion, I would say for the style overall, I really enjoy it. And if you're just getting into like craft beer, if you're used to drinking Budweiser or, you know, your typical macro or American adjunct lagers, and you're trying to get into something a little different, brown ales would be good to start with, because they're more malt forward. But typically, unless you're drinking an Imperial 13.5% like this, typically it's more of an easy transition than going from like a Budweiser to a stout or something like that, because that's even more bold and in your face. And one I would recommend for everybody to start with would be Newcastle, because that's probably the most mellow, easy drinking brown ale out there. It gives you the nice nutty qualities and the toasted bread notes that you want with a brown ale, but it's very mild and easy drinking. And that would be a good way to get into the brown ale style if you haven't already.
Yes, and back when you were very young, before your drinking days, you probably have comments. You might have some comments.
Actually, no comments yet. I've got it pulled up.
Yeah, it's
It
kind
is
of
the middle of the workday, so a lot of people are probably working.
yeah, bad time of day. But back when get off of that before your drinking days, there used to be a beer called Pete's Wicked Ale. I don't know why they called it that because it wasn't wicked. It was just a mild brown ale, like it's sort of like an American version of Newcastle Brown Ale. It was very popular. This was like in 1996, 97, and it was like one of the big craft beers. People would say, "I'm drinking Pete's Wicked Ale," and then Newcastle was well regarded, and that was like a thing. A Beta, Turbo Dog, and all that. So then, oh yeah, everybody liked the mild coffee-like, mellow chocolate qualities of a brown ale and bread crust and all. And then around 2000, oh, that was old hat. People say brown ales, that's like the refuse of the craft beer world. Nobody respectable drinks brown ales. And I was maybe thinking that too, maybe. I don't remember. I just didn't like the clear bottles because it would make them get skunked, somewhat like Newcastle. But then I was feeling bad about that. Why are people ripping on this delightful style? But now it's coming back. You see it's coming back kind of strong now. Because, hey, you know what? People like mild, pleasant beers. Everything doesn't have to be, well, maybe in your case it's kind of high ABV. But everything does not have to be super duper ultra bold and a punch in the face.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's kind of, I love craft beer, but some of the stuff, like particularly the IPAs, I think a lot of them are just overdone. I mean, you get these 100 plus IBU beers, and apparently the palate can only detect up to 100 IBUs, but you've got these 120 and 130 IBU beers, these hop bombs, and it's like, why, why?
Have you ever had Lagunitas Hop Stupid?
I have, and that's 101 IBUs. That one I thought
102, yeah, 102.
102 IBUs for you, as it says on the label. But yeah, I actually enjoyed that one. Lagunitas, for whatever reason, in my opinion, is one of the best companies that are, they make some of the best IPAs I've ever had, including the hops. That's probably one of my least favorite of their beers, but I still think it's excellent, and it's not way out of balance like some of the other really hoppy beers I've had have been.
It's got enough maltiness to make it pleasant, huh? I'll be right back.
Exactly.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, anybody out there that is watching now or may watch later, brown ales are really good. The style is really great for beginners and experts alike. It's just kind of a nice, mellow, easy drinking style of beer for the most part. And if you haven't tried a brown ale, you should definitely check one out. So, the Milwaukee's Best Ice, huh?
Let's throw this in at the end. Here's Milwaukee's Best Ice, folks. This is a quart can. I bought this 2 days ago. Let's see, today's Tuesday. Yeah, Sunday. I bought 6 of these. They were $1.37 per can.
That's a deal right there.
Wouldn't you buy 6 for $1.37 a can?
I absolutely would. Yeah, Milwaukee's Best Ice, one of the better ice beers on the market. Unfortunately, I no longer get the Milwaukee's Best Premium or the Milwaukee's Best Ice in my area. I can only buy the light.
That is a shame.
I used to be able to get the I think it was the 30 packs actually of the Milwaukee's Best Premium and Milwaukee's Best Ice for like $15, $16 for a 30 pack. You're looking at less than $1 a beer, 50 to 60 cents a beer. I mean, that's a heck of a deal.
Yeah, and it's one of the best ones around macro lagers. Look at that rich gold color.
Yeah, it's a beauty.
I'm finishing it off from yesterday. It's 32 ounces, so it's kind of an off serving. Normally I drink 12-ounce beers.
Right.
So I'll drink so many 12-ounce beers per week. Well, when it's 32, I got to kind of calculate it different, because I'm not a person that's going to just drink a lot all day long. Like, the perception is there of that because all people see about me or you is the videos. So
right. Yeah. Some people they think that's all we do. We just drink all day because we post YouTube videos and that's our entire life. And we do have a viewer commenting. Alex, the Beer Master, is joining us. He says, "Hey, John, how's your day so far?" Well, it's great. I got off work early today. I'm sitting here at home with Ronald, Theriot of Louisiana Beer Views, and we're drinking brown ales. I've got one from Monday Night Brewing out of Atlanta, Georgia, at 13.5%. The Antimeridium. And Ron, why don't you flash that bottle one more time for our?
I already put it in the kitchen.
Oh, okay. Well, you were drinking the Abita Christmas Ale.
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning in, Alex. Always a big supporter of the beer tube community.
Thanks, Alex. We wish you were doing the hangout with us.
You'll have to join us one day.
Tomorrow night, I believe we're going to be on at about 7:30 Eastern for the Wild Card Wednesday.
Right.
And I'm going to have Milwaukee's best. I have a 1-pint can left. I don't know how that's going to go over, but it's Wild Card, so
there you go. Well, we'll go ahead and close this out. This brown ale examination, I think it went well. Definitely a style to try. If you haven't already, it's a very good, mellow style for the most part. A lot of malty, sweet, bready, fruity notes, stuff like that. If you're more into that type of thing, you would love brown ales. Thanks so much for joining me today, Ron. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad I was off for work today and could join.
All right. So that'll do it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hope everybody out there is having a great day. And until next time, everybody, cheers.